Hi everybody, I am Thatnursingprof and welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about pertussis, also known as whooping cough. So whooping cough is something you might learn in a variety of your classes. You might learn about it in med-surg, you might learn about it in OB or pediatrics, because it can happen to anybody of any age. A lot of times our biggest concern is when it happens to either the elderly or infants, but it can happen to anybody of any age. It's caused by a bacteria, and what happens is this bacteria attaches to the cilia, so those little like hairs, right, in the respiratory tract. So it attaches to them in the lungs and then releases toxins that damage them and then causes swelling, okay? This is a disease that is reportable and it's very contagious, so we need to report it if we have a patient who has this. And then a patient who has this, how long are they contagious? For about 2 weeks. So once they start noticing the coughing, for about 2 weeks they are contagious, so they need to isolate. So now that we know like the basics about it, let's talk about the signs and symptoms. Now let's talk about the signs and symptoms. So the early ones are going to be very similar to that of a common cold, such as runny nose, congestion, a mild cough, and a low-grade fever. These usually last about 1 to 2 weeks. When it comes to those characteristic signs and symptoms, the things you think about when you think about pertussis, those are considered later signs. So of course the big one are the paroxysms. Those are the coughing fits that the patient has, and these are followed by a high-pitched whoop sound. So hence the name, whooping cough. And if you're wondering, well, where's pertussis come from? That's the name of the bacteria that causes this. So these fits can be so strong and so severe that they can cause the patient to vomit. And they're very, very draining for the patient, right? So these patients report exhaustion, fatigue. This is a lot for them. And these coughing fits are going to be worse at night. So more severe at night. These can last 6+ weeks, so a very long time. I believe in China they call this like the 100-day cough because it can last 100 days long. So that's not great, right? We don't want our patients to have this. It's not a fun thing to have. So those are the big signs and symptoms. One thing I do want to point out, when we are talking about babies, we're talking about infants, they may or may not have the cough. Most of the time they will not. What they will have instead is apneic spells. So babies have apnea, which is where they stop breathing. So obviously that is more severe and a bigger concern for us as the nurse. And then after this, then we're in the convalescent stage, and this is when the fits start to subside. So now that we know about the different stages of the signs and symptoms and what to expect, let's talk about some laboratory tests. Pertussis is diagnosed based on your signs and symptoms, a throat swab, or even a blood test. Some people with pertussis are able to, care for themselves at home. We talked about it lasting a very long time. And sometimes when you have pertussis, you are treated in the hospital. So if you're in the hospital, what is the nurse going to do? First of all, you're going to be on droplet precautions. So it is very contagious, right? So we don't want to spread it. So you're going to be on isolation. The nurse is going to want to frequently assess your respiratory system, including listening to lung sounds, checking your pulse ox, and assess for signs of dehydration, such as like poor skin turgor. We'll give oxygen as ordered and provide humidification. Suctioning may be needed in some patients. We're going to encourage them to rest. We're going to give them IV fluids to prevent them from becoming dehydrated. And we're going to offer emotional support because this is a lot, right? I said before, it's draining, it's exhausting to have these fits, and it can be irritating. If we're going to give meds, some meds we might give would be antipyretics, so for the fever, antibiotics to, treat the illness, the bacteria, and then sometimes steroids, so corticosteroids to help with like breathing. We're going to encourage the patient to have small, frequent meals and encourage them to drink a lot of fluids. Remember we talked about before, sometimes they have those coughing fits and they're so bad that they cause the patient to throw up. So our patients might not have, the strongest appetite at this point. So small, frequent meals, lots of fluids, that's going to help them kind of maintain their energy so that they can get better. And then lots of education. So avoiding triggers like smoking. So if you are a smoker that has pertussis, you should stop smoking. Or if your child has pertussis and you, a parent, are a smoker, don't smoke in the house. Don't expose them to that because that's going to be a trigger. That's going to make them want to cough more. And then it is typically recommended that you don't take, over-the-counter cough medications to treat this unless your doctor says you should. It's probably not going to help very much in this case. So that one's going to be a little bit more specific between the patient and the doctor, what they decide, but typically we don't encourage you to take cough medication for pertussis. And then one special thing I wanted to add, the population that is highest risk for this and having complications and even death as a result of this are babies under the age of 1 year old. Okay, so the best way to protect those babies is for mom to get the vaccine while she's pregnant. So in your 3rd trimester, it is highly recommended that the pregnant woman get the pertussis vaccine. So this is to help create antibodies to help protect the baby so that the baby will be less likely to get this. And then when the baby is born and they're a couple of months old, then they can get their own pertussis vaccine. It is also highly recommended that those who are going to be around the baby, so not just mom, but maybe the father of the baby, dad, maybe grandma, grandpa, people who are going to be around the baby a lot, it is also highly recommended that they get the whooping cough vaccine as well, just to protect the baby. So that was my video on pertussis. I hope you found this helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. And if not, I'll see you on the next one.